Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. Hey, Final Destination Bloodlines killed at the box office. Yes, I can say that. It killed. And we will talk about it. The thunderous decline of Thunderbolts. It's a bomb, folks. It's a bomb for Marvel. And I don't know. Hate to see it, but it's happening. Plus, tons of movie news, a fan-made Superman trailer that's blazing a trail on the internet, beloved by fans, surpassing the official trailer. We'll take a look. Plus your comments, questions, and the greatest assembly of the Justice League of YouTubers right here to chat about all things news and nerdy stuff. Well, let's go. Let's start the show. Let's go. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Wow.
There are more people
Iron
here.
Man. I'm Iron Man for the Justice League, or the whatever, Avengers. We can do
Yeah.
Justice League too.
Hey, everybody's here. I'm excited. Dante missed you this weekend at Cruel World. It was
I know, man. I wanted to be there so bad.
Dude, it was amazing. I saw New Order. Amy Mann until Tuesday was great. I'm gonna post for members only some of the videos because I will get copyright struck, but it was great. It was like 80s band galore at the Pasadena Rose Bowl. How's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Good. I'm ready to talk about James Gunn presents James Gunn and James Gunn Superman.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah, we'll get to it.
Did I mention James Gunn? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's get right to it. Everybody introduce themselves. Let's go.
Oh, Angry Badger, happy to be here and talk about James Gunn Presents. I agree with Dante. I can't wait.
Script Doctor, happy to be here to diagnose all of the woes of Hollywood.
Stephanie, My Nerdy Home. So excited to be here to talk Hollywood. Let's go.
What's up, y'all? Dante from Rebel Riot. Y'all know me.
What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. Let's get it. Can't wait for this one, man.
Alan Ing, Film Threat. Hey, I was going to see Final Destination yesterday, but I saw The Wiz by mistake. So could barely hear that. It's a,
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Okay, did you really see The Wiz?
yeah.
Alan?
Yeah, it was in theaters yesterday. Come on.
I think it's
Was it?
theaters. Yeah, it's a return to theaters, and it was packed.
How did I not hear about this?
It's a re-release. I haven't seen it in the theater since I was a little kid.
No.
Nice.
Why
Yeah,
was there no controversy about that movie?
Oh my
when it came
gosh.
out?
I'm watching it and like they have these crows that are just like the crows from Dumbo.
Oh no!
And
Really?
somehow that's okay, and the ones in Dumbo weren't.
Oh,
All I
God.
can say is it was a different time. It was a different time, man.
Yeah, it was a time in which
Joe.
Black culture was fun, and
Yeah, I mean, look,
When black people didn't take themselves too damn seriously and everything was some sort of a slap in the face, or it's like we had fun. All right, like Blazing Saddles. Everybody enjoyed Blazing Saddles for
Yeah.
what it was. We need to get back to those days, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was great.
by the way, the
I
Wicked
agree.
Witch from The Wiz was the mother from What's Happening.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mabel King, man.
Yeah,
another great show. What's happening? Shout out to Rerun.
and
Love
Raj.
that show as a kid. Raj was I identified with Raj because he was kind of a nerd and wore glasses. I'm serious.
And you snuck a tape recorder into a Doobie Brothers concert.
But he was always some moral dilemma with Raj, and his mom was with the sage advice. It was a great show.
and the belt.
And
Oh
the
my
bill.
God.
That's all I was about to say.
All right. Well, Alan, let's get to it. Let's talk about box office. I'm not sure if all of you got to see Final Destination Bloodlines. If you're a fan of that series,
I did. I went and saw
Yeah.
it.
So, what did you think of it? Then we'll get to the numbers. People want to chime in.
It's the best one. Out of all of them, it's the best one.
I thought so too. Best
Yep.
one by far.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I like how they tied everything together, and it was a really nice send off as well for I can't remember
Tony
his
Todd.
name.
Tony Todd.
Tony Todd,
Yeah.
yes. And his final speech too was it wasn't scripted.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
his send off words, it wasn't scripted. Those were like off the cuff, what he wanted. Like they asked him to send a message to like the Final Destination fans. That's what he said.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, I'll just say, people, I saw it twice. People applauded at the beginning of Tony Todd and at the end. It was so good. It's worth it just for him. So
Mhm.
yeah. DA, what'd you think?
I loved it, man. I loved it. I took my son yesterday. He loved it. Just like you said, the audience was cheering when he came on the screen. It was poignant. It was touching.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love the way they tied his character into like the overall Final Destination. You know, like he was kind of always like this mysterious character, but then they kind of tied him into the whole thing. So I like that part of it as well. It was just a really, really good movie. The deaths are awesome. The deaths are so good. So
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I think if you're a fan of comedy, you would also like this movie. Like, say, I think Alan would like it.
No.
Okay. Anyone else?
I won't
Okay.
be seeing it till Saturday, sadly. We're doing night shoots all week.
It's got this great thing where it's so suspenseful. There's even a scene where they're trying to get like candy out of a little, redemption machine, and they do a close up on a warning. Whenever they do that, it's like you're like, oh, like anything. Oh,
Yep.
I loved it. But let's go through the box office. Number one, Final Destination Bloodlines.
We should probably point out that what does international think of horror films? Exactly what Americans think of horror films.
50-50.
Wow.
Wow. So the
Yep.
international is 102 million for this series, and almost exactly 51 million domestic, 51.7 million domestic, 51 million international, for a total take of 102. Let's get to that's impressive. Horror is on fire. And I'll say this. My commentary, put that back up if you would. Oh, Alan's gone.
Alan
He's
dropped.
back.
He'll be
Yeah,
back.
so I hit the back button on the wrong.
I've done it
on the
before.
wrong browser.
I've done it. If you could put the box office
Yeah,
back
there
up.
you go.
But I
There you
think
go. This is the button I meant to hit. There you
that's
go.
all good. So every genre, in my opinion, superhero, less and less interest. People are the only genre I think that is thriving currently is horror. From Terrifier to this, we've got a Bring Her Back coming out in a couple weeks. So from the guys who made Talk to Me. So horror is thriving in these times while nearly every other genre is suffering.
Yeah.
Any sort of general commentary about that?
I mean, I find it interesting that horror has the most original material coming out of that genre
Right.
versus every other
That
genre.
is true.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
horror doesn't die. Like that's just it. There's
Yeah.
always a horror movie you can find every weekend somewhere in some area.
It's not based on an IP or it's not a reboot. Well, some of them are, but the majority aren't.
Oh no, I mean the horror is always considered the calling card if you want to break into the industry, especially if you're a director. Like if you direct a horror film, you pretty much get a guaranteed shot at least one showcasing at least in one festival. And that go a long way. What I'm really fascinated by is the fact that the top 5 box office winners this week are 3 of them are Warner Brothers films.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, they need it.
Yeah, they'll be winning if Superman is a hit. But let's go through the rest of the numbers. Dropping, holding in there at number 2, Thunderbolts, 16.6 million, down 49%.
Yikes.
Sinners, number 3, dropped only 31%.
Yeah,
Made nearly as much as Thunderbolts, 15.2 million.
yeah, and international didn't love Sinners.
Why do you think that is, Alan?
I
you don't like
I think
vampire
it's
movies?
obvious.
Yeah, I think it's the vampires.
Yeah.
It's
And
vampires.
And the watermelon and the grits.
Hey, those
you
are
go.
fantastic. How dare you?
And another expansion of 16 more theaters for Sinners too. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, plus 16. Minecraft movie at number 4, 5.
Yeah, and then we got a note. It's creeping to $1 billion. Literally.
That's crazy.
Oh,
the creeper is
you son of
creeping
a
to
bitch.
$1
I saw
billion.
what you did.
925 million total. It should hit $1 billion before the end of June. That's crazy. Go
Or
back
will
if
it?
you would, Alan.
Yeah.
We'll go
Or
down the
will it?
list here. We'll see. Hurry Up Tomorrow from Lionsgate, number 6, debuting with 3.3 million. And my condolences to anyone who saw that movie. I thought it was awful.
I heard it is
I
the
heard a
worst
lot of
movie
people
of the
thought it was
year.
awful.
It was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, did anyone else see it besides Alan and I? We were stupid enough to go.
Okay, but here's the thing. I saw the weekend show on HBO, The Idol or whatever. So who thought it'd be a good idea to give him a whole movie?
Right.
Someone who looks at social media instead of looking at talent.
Yes, 100%.
I found it interesting, but Live Nation produced this movie. So they must owe him something.
He is a terrible actor, like terrible. I haven't seen the movie. I've just seen scenes from the film, and I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah. Well,
There are 5 long sequences in this movie, and if you go to the bathroom at the beginning of each one, you'll come back and the sequence will just end.
and I missed a major plot point by going to the bathroom twice. Thank you, Alan, for the correction.
The question is though, does this hurt Jen Ortega's career?
No.
No.
She's
Nah.
I mean, she's
No,
a
okay.
producer on it. Oh, sorry, Alan. Go ahead.
And you actually have to see the movie for her to be destroyed by the movie. So
Yeah, you're right. And no one will see it.
I mean, dude, this might be the worst movie of the year. I mean, are you sure about that?
Yeah,
The only
third-
clip
I don't
I've
know if
seen
it's
made
the
it look
worst
like
movie.
Misery, like the movie Misery, except he's trapped in there instead of James Caan.
It's a less sexy Misery, and Jenna Ortega's in
Less
it.
sexy.
What is
Oh,
that?
less
say?
sexy.
What does that
Kathy
say?
Bates, huh?
Wow.
Number 6, The Accountant 2, I failed to mention at 4.7 million. Friendship, number 7, 1.4 million. Number 8, Clown in a Cornfield, hanging in there, 1.3 million. Until Dawn, number 9, 811,000. And The Amateur at number 10 with 724,000.
it's still in
I
theater.
mean,
Isn't that the
yeah, I
Rami
know
Malek
it's,
one?
it's really distressing how little money the movies from 5 and below are making here.
I'm curious
Not
about
so great.
Okay, I'm just seeing if
But I mean,
Clown
how much
Cornfield made
could
its
that have
money
cost?
yet.
How much could that have cost? Clown in a Cornfield, Alan. Not
Well,
that
we
much.
know how much it
Under
costs.
10 million.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
5 million. That's how much it costs.
We interviewed the director who also did Tucker and Dale, the Tucker and Dale movie that people love. So I don't know. So there you go. That's the box office, folks. The big news from all of this is Thunderbolts. If you would click on Thunderbolts, Alan, we'll see their total take. Click on that to see the total for Thunderbolts, total global. We got 325 million total worldwide. Domestic is 155 million for Thunderbolts. 155. It won't break 200. At this rate, it will not break 200. International is 170. What does this say about Marvel?
Apathy is set in.
Yeah, it's brand damage, really, at this point, because it's got better reviews than some previous Marvel flops. But this one here is like, well, that reputation is still greater than the quality of the film, whether you liked it or not. I always thought it was kind of average, not
Daredevil didn't even track in Nielsen, like just Marvel stuff in general. Just people don't care. You put enough bad stuff out.
5 years of bad movies. Yeah.
It's not just brand damage, though. I mean, again, we're talking about normies, right? And normies are looking at this poster thinking, who are these people? Right? I've never heard of these people. Like that's kind of the problem. Like you could see a Captain America, even Brave New World, you see that shield, you know it's a Captain America movie, right? What would a normie get from this poster?
If they made it Ollie Sebastian Stan, they might have had a better shot.
Yes.
They remember him.
It's very much brand damage though, because like when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, nobody knew any of those characters either. Like the normies didn't know those characters either, and those movies, like people love those movies, so it is brand damage. Like Marvel has put out years and years of crap and thrown crap on Disney Plus, and that's where a lot of these characters are coming from, the Disney Plus shows. And like years and years of crap from Marvel, and people don't trust the brand anymore.
Might as well put Agatha up there.
Here's the other thing. I have AMC A-list, so I can see 3 movies a week.
Four. They changed
four
it to
coming
4.
coming up 4. But I went to see Kiki's Delivery Service with my daughter, and it's excluded from that. It's excluded from that, and I paid $20 a ticket. When I dropped that $40, it hurt, and it's like I can't imagine people who are not on the A-list and the amount of money they have to pay to see these movies.
Well,
and no wonder they didn't see Thunderbolts.
Alan, you should never do this, but you could buy a ticket to a different movie and then go see Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yes. No, that
would be wrong, Chris.
No, that is wrong.
You know what's so funny? I pay too, even though I have friends that do that. If it says excluded, I still pay because I want to encourage re-releases like The Wiz that's come out, and now it's like they're adding days. They added screen times to The Wiz because the screenings were sold out. They were packed. I wonder what that movie is like. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I'd love to see it again.
It's
so good.
They're going to have to keep tanking losses, even if it's good stuff, because it's going to have to, hey, the last couple of ones were good. I know they didn't, and word of mouth is going to have to build that they've had a couple good, I know DA always talks about momentum, and that means they're going to have to eat more losses until finally it catches on that they're making good stuff.
Yep.
How does
Marvel... what's up next for Marvel? What's up next from it's
Ironheart.
Really with all of the it's also
it's
really
an
weird
icon.
with Thunderbolts reviews that were coming out, and the articles that were being written saying that it's a great movie, it's a great conversation surrounding mental health. If you're a Marvel fan and you want to see superheroes in a Marvel movie, you want an action movie, you don't go to it expecting a dialogue about surrounding mental health. So
exactly,
it is
you're
very
going to shell out $20 to do.
That's what the focus was on in regards to I don't want to say the marketing, because the marketing wasn't, but all of the conversations surrounding this movie ended up being about mental health.
Well, I mean, the trades have never been really good at helping with the marketing campaigns of movies because you always kind of put attention on the wrong things. Like, for instance, you could watch the Thunderbolts and I could understand the mental health stuff, but it doesn't feel as prevalent with regards to the rest of what's going on there. But to these people writing the trades, they're like, well, mental health, that's an angle that's really important to me personally as a writer, but is it really important to your readers? That's the other part too, right? The trades and the journalists in the last 15, 20 years have not been helpful with the Hollywood industry that they've been covering.
Right. And are you going to shell out $20 to see a movie about mental health?
I know. And to their credit, Marvel's kind of trying, because they had that whole cast of Doomsday watches the Thunderbolts movie photo coming out. They've been really trying with it. But it's just not working because there is brand damage.
Happy to get a movie from Marvel that I did not feel hated me, which a lot of their products, She-Hulk, felt like, oh, they fucking hate me. That's it. Just start there.
By the way, I put a clip in the private chat about where Kevin Smith is talking about.
We're going to show that, Dante. We got that queued up. But I got to say, how does Marvel come back from this? Because I really believe that Fantastic Four may be like Thunderbolts. It's okay. Pedro ruins it for me. Nothing I've seen from him.
Yeah.
And he's a non-starter.
His quotes from Cannes.
They're so bad, aren't they?
They're so bad. It's not going to help.
And he's doing this a month before the movie comes out, which is insane.
Right. And it's for a different movie. He's not even,
it doesn't matter. He's the lead.
I know, but right.
Sad that Fantastic Four is getting the heat for him promoting a different movie.
Yeah.
That's oversaturation for you.
Again,
he's in everything.
How does Marvel come back from this? Because now it's proven they can put out a relatively well-liked film. I didn't love it as much as a lot of people. I'm very mixed to negative on Thunderbolts, but the audience score and the critics score pretty much, positive, in the positive. And it's still not performing. They can't just put out anything anymore. And Ironheart is probably only going to create more brand damage.
Mhm.
Marvel has to get the momentum moving in a positive direction. They got to do more than just one good movie, and then the next 3 or 4 things are all trash. They got to come back with great movie after great movie after great, because that's what we got. That's what built the Marvel Cinematic Universe from the first 3 phases. It was all good. Everything was good to great. That's
Well,
what
Bob
they need to do.
Iger, Bob Iger had the solution. It's make less of them.
Yeah.
See,
That's
I don't
possibly
even think
what
I don't even
they
think
did.
that's a solution. I think they just need to go away for a while. You know what?
Yeah.
You guys are way more optimistic than I am. I don't think there's any saving the MCU right now. There's nothing. I don't think Doomsday is going to save it. I don't think Secret Wars is going to save it. Fantastic Four is definitely not going to save it, especially with Pascal running his mouth the way he is. They need to go away and just, take a break. Take like a 5-year break. They have to do that.
But they're not learning anything in that 5-year break. That's the
Exactly.
problem. I'd rather
Black
have them keep
Magneto.
making some movies and actually learning, engaging the audience so that they can actually get back on the right foot. Because taking a break just means, okay, I'm suspending myself, but there's no growth, right? Like you're just delaying it. What's to say that in 5 years they don't repeat the exact same mistakes that they did 5 years ago because they haven't learned anything from that point? Breaks are irrelevant at this point. Like we just talked about the horror genre. Horror genre has never taken a break. They've had a lot of duds, but they've had a lot of successes, but they keep trying. Same thing for Marvel. You got to keep trying because you're losing money every time you don't put something out of the IP you have. And I'd rather have them try, fail, and then find their way to a good footing than just have a massive break and then, they come back and they're terrible still.
No, obviously you take the break and you recalibrate, right? I'm not saying just take a break to come back with the same shit. I'm saying take a break just so that you're out of the minds of look. I don't care how well they do, like moving forward right now. The stink is on them, right? No, even okay, the Thunderbolts. I didn't love it, but it was a fine movie. It was fine. They couldn't even sell a fine movie right now. So I'm just saying they need to just go away, disappear from like the public consciousness. Regather themselves, come up with a better plan. And then, people have forgotten a little bit and then come out with something new.
They need to, but they won't. They won't. Just like
They don't know.
all
They don't
the
know
franchises.
They don't know what they're doing wrong. That's the problem.
No, come on.
The last 5 years.
Come on.
The last 5 years
Now
are
they
all
know.
about this messaging. That we're gonna make it female. We're gonna, bring all these characters that you don't know to light. Look, you can
Chris
take a break.
said they do.
You could take.
Chris
Hold on. You
said
can take
that
a
Kevin
break
Feige
and you
knew.
can recalibrate. But if you recalibrate in the wrong way, you're still not fixing the problem.
You don't think they're doing this on purpose when they're talking about casting Cynthia Erivo as Storm? They know what they're doing.
They're desperate to try and do something to get attention, and they're going in the wrong direction because they also live inside their bubble, and that bubble doesn't burst when they take a 5-year break. That's the problem.
Yeah. If they think Cynthia Erivo is going to save the X-Men, then they really don't know the problem.
Unless she's playing Morbius because she looks like a vampire.
Did we not hear that Kevin Feige said that we tried it and it's not working, and that now that we're going to return to profitability, and now their cope reason for whatever it's going to be, Black Professor Xavier and Magneto, is just, we don't want people to confuse them with the 90s X-Men. Same old boss, meet the new boss, say it was the old boss.
Fantastic World.
Just say different reasons.
I don't trust the current Marvel with X-Men.
Yeah,
I really don't
Parliament.
I don't trust it.
Disney.
I
I don't
love
trust Disney with X-Men.
Yeah, I love Denzel
Not
Washington.
just Disney.
Denzel Washington as an actor, I love him.
Great.
I don't think he could play a good Magneto. I mean, I
He
could be
shouldn't
wrong.
play Magneto. Even if he could play a good one, he shouldn't.
No.
You're right.
Or Coleman Domingo as Professor Xavier, whatever they keep talking about. Just
Retarded. It's
as
not.
pointed out by Bo DeMeo, or like endorsed, someone else said he endorsed it. Their ethnicities are rather important. One, the European Holocaust survivor, and you can say he's from another timeline earlier, whatever. And this is the one time I will agree. Professor Xavier is supposed to be a privileged white man from upstate New York, and the only adversity he faces is the mutants that he can fucking hide. So it's very easy for him to be like, no, just go ahead and be your true authentic self, when he can hide it's a whole subtext to the characters that needs to be there.
Well, from Marvel to DC, I'm sure you've all seen it. This fan-made Superman trailer has hit X, put together by my pal, Perry Chan. He's an editor, and he admits he put this together in an hour. This is what I heard from him. He spent an hour, recut that new Superman trailer, and did this to it. It's shorter. I have it here from my own X account. I said the marketing for Superman has been less than impressive. I'm hoping the movie itself is truly great because I have faith in James Gunn. Look at his track record. But this re-edited version is better than the official trailer. So from Perry Chan, should we look at this? Even though
Yes, absolutely.
We might have to
we'll
mute
get-
it.
we'll get,
because it's still
copyright.
John
we're
Williams,
gonna have to
right?
clip
So-
it out, but I'd like to let's watch it together. We'll clip it out. Here we go.
Enjoy.
Your choices, your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
Music makes all the difference.
That is
Yeah.
John Williams doing the work right there for
Yep.
this trailer. What do we think? I mean, it focused on what Superman means as a character, his mission, his purpose. I just think it's a great re-edit. He could only work with what he had, but also the music for Superman even sounds in James Gunn Superman seems so computer. You know, it's not. It's a computer orchestra.
Don't like
not-
that guitar riff.
It
Yes,
just
and
doesn't-
rocks.
it
Yeah.
it
Just don't like
doesn't
it.
work for me, and I'm really sad that I kind of feel like maybe the age of all symphony doing a score that's going away.
Oh, it's
Which is
really
why, like,
tough to do.
It's expensive. It's expensive. But anyways, what do we think about this? And again, you can separate the marketing from the thing, the movie itself. What does everyone think of this?
Yeah, if this was the only trailer that came out for Superman, Superman would have the biggest opening weekend box office of the year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because this thing, what Perry put together exemplifies what we all know Superman is, you know, heroic, truth, justice, the American way. That's all you need. The goal of a trailer is to put butts in seats. And I think that trailer would put butts in seats.
We'll also throw in
whether
some
they come
stakes.
back the next weekend is a different question,
Yeah,
but
we'll
they'll
also-
have a great opening weekend.
It also threw in some stakes because we saw him do some heroic stuff, but we also saw him get, fighting and defending himself and getting his butt handed to him to a degree. But we got to see the contrast. So we realized, oh, yeah, he can fight a kaiju. But now we got this super being that's going to plow him into a baseball or football field. And then we have the end cut of, oh, he's now injured. What has happened? What has given us the intrigue there? All the same points that were done in the previous trailers, but just flows better narratively with this one.
And
I
it
really
ends
like-
with Crypto. You hear him, you hear the bark, and it's like, oh, helpful instead of him beating the shit out of him. And
Yeah.
for a movie that is, sorry, Steph, real quick, that is hashtag look up, every time they've shown him, instead of looking up and being all badass, he's like on the ground in a fetal position or getting beaten up. And yeah,
Or
it's
falling to the ground.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're falling. Sorry,
We're
we're gonna
falling.
say stuff.
I like the way this one opens up with the words from Pa Kent,
Mhm.
as opposed to the other one opening up with a nice little argument between Lois and Clark. Like I didn't like the way that the trailer opened. I didn't like that was our introduction into their relationship. I disliked the entire sequence. So this one opening up with a nice little speech was a lot better.
Well, like the scene where Lois is kind of nagging him about the choices he's made to end a war. He thinks he did the right thing. He's being nagged by Lois Lane. I don't know. Like, it reminds me of have you seen that montage of Pete Hegseth during that those committee hearings to confirm him, and all the women are yelling at him, and he's
Or the blue-haired woman.
It's like a wall of women all yelling and at him, and
his response is like,
yeah,
the
like,
big long sigh, so you can tell he's used to it.
Right.
That's what I feel Superman's going through. It's like, I gotta deal with this. I'm trying to do the right thing. Don't you see? And maybe
I'm sorry, I wasn't as put off by that. I look, I didn't think it was all that great, but I wasn't put off by it. I think that to have those kind of questions in a Superman movie is fair, right? And
in a
to have
Superman
Lois
movie with context, but not in a trailer.
And it's just to say, great scene, but did it need to be in the trailer?
that's
great
fair.
scene
That's
is
cool,
not going to
fair.
attract people to this movie.
Like the
Bingo.
dog in the preview. It's like, great, but do we need to see that? You couldn't have maybe saved that and just
You got to remember, like, the general audience don't give a damn about none of that. They want to see Superman being Superman, getting out there fighting, bad guys, and just being a hero, saving the day, rescuing the damsel in distress. A falling building is falling down. Superman's holding
It's all
it. Like, that's
sizzle.
what.
It's-
That's
people
what
want
people
the
want to see.
sizzle.
Your general audience, the people that are going to make this thing a possible $1 billion movie. All the nerds, we're going to see it anyway. What's going to get the regular normie in the theater? All right, is it Superman getting dressed down by his girlfriend? Probably not. All right,
for women, right? It's the romance, right? Lois
For women,
and
it's the
Superman.
romance,
That did not look
Yeah,
romantic
I
to
love
me.
that Barry Chan, the only thing that he put in here with
Yep.
Superman and Lois was them
Spin.
the spinning kiss.
Yeah.
That's why I love. That's the only thing he put in there because that's what I want to see. For women, yes, 100%, it is the romance between the two.
Yeah.
But if
And
she's-
guys want to see him beating people up, not getting beaten up.
But if
Right.
Lois is nagging him about using a coaster when he has like a cold drink,
It leaves a mark, Clark.
that'll be a really annoying. I don't know. I like that trailer. I think Perry Chan, you just showed, hey, maybe here's a different way to structure it. I think other people even pointed out that the podcast, what he says is sort of a better way to open.
Yeah.
than Lois. Although that scene, by the way, 10 minutes in the middle of the movie. And even Gunn confirmed it at CinemaCon when Alan and I were there. It's 10 pages of the script. It's a monologue and a Q&A between the two of them in the middle. I know when to go to the bathroom now. You can tell me what happened.
I think
That
that's
didn't
a
get
huge
edited
mistake.
in the second screening. That didn't get edited because I know isn't that the
I
scene
don't
that they
know.
chemistry tested them on? Was that scene between the two of them?
I don't know. I don't have.
Yeah.
I only got confirmation that the second test screening they fixed a few things and added 2 post-credit scenes. So we did a video on that.
I gotta
got a
say, but
question.
whoever Perry works for, that guy should give him a raise.
By the way, Nerdrotic is like, how come I'm not on Versus? I said, you're welcome to join. You're welcome to join if you like.
Yeah,
So,
something hop on.
Real quick, do you guys heard that they're doing the early screening through the Amazon for Superman? It's coming. It's going to screen early. There's a
July
a screening-
7th.
Yep.
July 7th. In your opinions, does this show that DC or Warner Brothers is showing a little confidence that, hey,
Yes.
we're willing to let this thing go out early? It's a good sign, in my opinion, that they're letting it go out early, and then that means probably critics are going to get it maybe the week before that, the week before July 7th. So it sounds like they're showing some confidence in this, which I feel good about, because normally they try to hold off. If it's a bad movie, they try to hold off all the way to the very end.
Yeah, remember when Dial of Destiny did that strategy?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
They didn't know what they had, but like I think that's good. July 7th, early. I think it's a fan screening. I don't know how to get tickets. I mean, Alan, we should make sure that jump on.
I'm hoping we get invited to a screening.
I almost wonder though, like as well as Warner Brothers is doing right now, if it takes some of the heat off of Superman, like it takes some of the stress off of this film, because Warner Brothers is killing it this year. Like this is Warner Brothers' year.
Yep.
Are you saying you hope Warner Brothers is building up enough profit with their current movies that it'll cover whatever?
Well, no. Look, come
Oh,
on, Alan. We know Superman's not going to take a loss here. We know it's going to make money. Like we can talk and we can dissect the trailer and all that. At the end of the day, we know Superman is going to make money.
Yeah,
it's got a very high budget. It needs to make between like 700 or 800 million just to break even.
And that's not
90.
I look. I don't know if it's going to do that well. I'm like maybe, but I almost wonder though if the current success of Warner Brothers maybe takes a little bit of the stress off of this film. I don't know.
Black Snape's just waiting.
I really believe in Gunn. I think his track record, I mean, Suicide Squad, a lot of fun. Polka Dot Man, who would think we'd be talking about Polka Dot Man?
Yeah.
Peacemaker, the Peacemaker show. I love.
Peacemaker.
It's one of my favorite shows of that year. I love Peacemaker.
Well, I confirmed Superman ties in directly to Peacemaker season 2, which comes out in August, 1 month after Superman, and it ties into Lanterns.
Yeah,
Now.
so it's Creature Commandos, Superman, Peacemaker, Lanterns is the official chronology.
And Dairy Queen.
And Dairy Queen, yes.
We will get that Dairy
So we're
Queen.
gonna get Guy Gardner in Lanterns.
It's happening. It's happening.
And then followed
maybe a
up by
little-
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. For
That's the follow-up. That's the follow-up. All right, let's go to Soups here, and then I've got a lot of other topics. Let's go, Badger.
Axel's Abode member for 9 months. Bloodlines, good enough for me to try the others.
Yeah, there's a deal on, I think, Fandango. You can get
Joe
the
became a
5
YouTube member. Shout out.
Yeah, yeah, thanks, Brujo.
Look at that Joker. Pilgrim Media for 2. The John Wick spinoff looks good. I'm going. Yeah, Ballerina doesn't look horrible, and they delayed it a whole year, adding scenes.
There's an early fan access screening on June 4th. I know because I have tickets.
Matthew Salcido for 5. What is your guys' insider knowledge on why and how and when? Oh Jesus, Marvel went woke. Who falls on the sword? Iger or Feige or both?
I think they will never admit failure, never apologize, and never admit they did anything wrong. There'll always be some excuse. So you'll never hear that. And wokeness, as it were, has kind of infected everything from comics, fiction, novels. I mean, just everything. It's sort of bled. I think it's a generation of college students that maybe were louder and they were given more of a voice than they deserved. And they didn't prove to really support the values they espoused. So when something is, can you think of something that's overtly woke that was a huge success?
Yeah, well, and also Feige was an admitted male feminist who from the get wanted to have more female superheroes than men. And it was only when he got full control that he was able to enact his plan. So that's basically when it went woke, but he was always there.
It went woke, and with that, in addition to also firing the creative committee that Marvel had, that was basically workshopping the scripts. The other part too is there's also the greed on Disney's side, which is they had to start doing payouts. Granted, there's minimal payouts to the creators of those original characters, but all the stuff that they made under the new Marvel brand, such as the revamping of Captain Marvel, along with Miss Marvel, Ironheart, etc., they own those all outright, and they don't have to pay anyone for that. And that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to maximize their profits. So one part greed, one part arrogance combined together without any oversight, you have this big ball of crap that we experienced.
Disney Parliament. Yeah.
I mean, it started with Captain Marvel, then it began, it followed by a certain scene in Endgame. And people responded to that in a way that Disney and Marvel thought that they were going in the right direction, that they would lean into that, which they did.
I remember that scene from Endgame, and some people cheered, but I did not because I thought it was dumb.
I watched that movie with my mom, and she rolled her eyes.
I rolled my
literally
eyes.
made for her, and she rolled her eyes. Like, what? Am I all together?
Yeah.
David Smart.
During Captain Marvel, when they played "I'm Just a Girl," I was just like, "Oh my god, are you kidding me?" Yeah.
Hail, Chris Gore. Final Destination was a good film.
Thanks, David Smart. I think people that are smart go to see it and take my recommendations, unlike Alan. So there you go.
I saw The Wiz, a classic movie. I would say 2 great songs in it.
Red French Moon member for 16 months. Monday without verses. Is it really a Monday?
Thank you. That's awesome. Okay, moving on. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning is coming out. And the director has some choice words here about fan service. I've got a couple Mission Impossible stories to go over here, but let me play this. It's Christopher McQuarrie, and it's queued up here with the quote. Let's take a look at this, see what he says.
Fan service and fandom is poison. It is deadly. It's great when applied like a very, very, very strong spice, very judiciously. If you happen to have seen the other movies, great.
Yeah.
I don't count on it, because what happens, the danger of that is I'm asking you to leave the narrative and remember another narrative and come back. Two things are certain to happen. One, if you know the movies, you've still left the narrative, and I have to spend precious energy bringing you back.
Yes.
I'm trying to immerse you in a story so that you're not aware the story is happening until it's over. Or you didn't see that other movie and you're suddenly aware that everybody around you knows something you don't. And in either case, you've disrupted the narrative, you've broken the chain, and you do so at your peril. You can do that. That's fine. Just know that when you do that, you've broken a stream of consciousness that you've created from the very first frame of the movie, which is unavoidable.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to have some disruption. I would say Maverick was as successful as it did because the disruptions to that chain are very, very, very minor, and you're almost instantly swept back into the narrative. You put that movie on, you watch it, and you're along for the ride, and you don't have to think about what's happening. It's not to say that I don't want you thinking. I just want you thinking about the movie after. I don't want you working to watch the movie. And you can feel that when you're watching certain films. You can feel the filmmaker's intention. You understand what they want you to feel. But you're not necessarily feeling it as much as you are putting it together in your head. You are, in certain instances, giving them a pass.
I see.
So that's the crux of it. I think it's a really a smart comment there.
I think
he's right.
He's absolutely right.
100%. I agree with him.
A movie that comes to mind for me is like Tron Legacy, right? Tron Legacy, yeah, it's great if you saw the original Tron, but if you're watching Tron Legacy, it's almost like you don't have to have seen Tron to get what's going on in Tron Legacy.
I had not seen the original when I saw Tron Legacy, and I very much understood and got and loved it, and it was a father-son thing. I was saying, is this not ironic though? Because isn't Mission Impossible 8 nothing but fan service and callback? Remember Barry's holding the knife from the first movie?
Well, I'm hearing him say this, and it's ironic.
I know what he means, but
the movie refers to two specific scenes from previous MI films
that are important.
And he replays them.
Because he means key jangling member berries, right?
But is he trying to service the fans? Like, is he doing that because he needs to service the fans of the Mission Impossible franchise? Is that like he's just inserting things there because he feels he needs to do it?
Well, no,
because he has
like
to do this fan service.
in the new movie, there's a reference to the White Rabbit.
Yeah, like
there's a reference to the White Rabbit.
In the movie has a
one at a time, people.
One at a time.
Story. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that in the new movie, there's references to the past movies, and he brings up scenes from the past movies as reminders. But you didn't have to have seen those. You didn't even have to see the last movie to understand this movie. And I think that's his point. Is look, if you've not seen any of the movies, jump right into Final Reckoning.
Okay, gotcha.
But the thing is, contrast that to what we've been saying about Thunderbolts. The fact that you had to watch this movie, this show, and that show in order to understand who these characters are and why they're there.
Yeah. Or worse, when you're watching a Disney Plus Star Wars show where it's nothing but fan service, and it also reminds you of the better Star Wars that you should be watching, as opposed to something like Ahsoka or Acolyte.
I think
that's actually the worst thing. Is it reminds you of the better stuff.
Yeah, I think he's talking. Oh, sorry, Steph. Go ahead.
I think a lot of also like a lot of key jangling things. Your story, when it hinges on that, it really lacks in the narrative. So you become very lazy as a writer when you're really just hoping that fans are just like, oh, look at the key jangling. See, remember this, remember that. You become very lazy as a writer. So it's lazy writing as well.
And your dependency on someone else's work that is better than yours. I mean, never reference something that will make people think of a better product than what you're doing. Because it's really just kind of conveying that you don't deserve to be here.
I think he was really talking about other films, not his own. But the way it was done in Final Reckoning, he does, and the iconic moments he's pointing out.
There's a reference to the first movie that I lost my shit over.
It was really cool.
It was really cool, and again, you still didn't need to have seen the first movie, but if you had, it's the Easter egg.
It adds to it, right?
It's the eighth movie. I would expect.
I like that kind of fan service where it's like, oh, I got something that it adds to my enjoyment. if I had seen it. But if I hadn't seen it, I'm still enjoying the moment anyway. That's the kind of that's fan service done right.
Yeah. And hopefully
Makes
we'll
it
be
better, yeah.
back. Most of you will have seen it by a week from today. And we
Yeah, I'm
can
gonna watch it.
discuss
I think I owe it to Tom Cruise as the last movie star who like respects us and our time and our money and fucking hangs himself off of planes and whatever
Well,
else
I
crazy
know.
things he does.
I
What's
know.
he doing?
I'm going to
Speaking
almost
of
kill
that-
myself for your
Mm.
ticket.
I love it.
Speaking of that,
Oh.
by the way,
Sorry, he
Tom
is though.
Cruise doesn't want to be known as the last movie star.
I
Here
call him
he
that all the
is.
time.
Call him
Here
it
he
all
is.
the time.
Tom Cruise doesn't get to make that decision.
Here
Yeah.
he is on the X account for Entertainment Weekly. Here, I'll play this clip. Here he is, and let's just watch and comment.
Nobody gets people in the seats of movie theaters like Tom Cruise. Am I right, y'all? You have been called great movie star.
Look, I don't want to be. I think there's so many other talented actors out there that I want to see them crush it.
I thought it was such a lovely moment. Michael B. Jordan popping up at the UK premiere. Michael, of course, is a huge fan of yours.
I'm a huge fan of his. That man and those guys, Kugler, that film Sinners is amazing.
Just have that showmanship of support out there on the carpet. We see two powerhouse actors out there showing up
We're
for
gonna
each
go make
other.
a
What does it
movie. That's
mean?
what we're
That's
gonna
what
do.
we need
Yeah,
to have
that's what we
happen.
want. Yeah, it's going to be a great summer of movies. Got the John Wick series with Keanu and Anna, and they're going to do Ballerina.
I can't
They got
wait.
Brad with Formula One. I'm looking forward to going and everybody having a good summer.
Nobody gets
So I don't know. I love this. Tom Cruise should be elected the president of Hollywood.
Hollywood on his shoulders. You should just have a statue of him. Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about? See, this is great. He's so gracious. He's saying, "Okay, yes, I've done things. Thank you for the compliment. But look at this movie and this," and he's excited about other movies, and he's a cheerleader for the industry. We need that. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Remember when humility used to be a thing?
Yeah.
Before
It's
social
this
media?
humility that makes him iconic.
I just remember Hollywood tried to crush him because he got too excited talking about his wife on Oprah Winfrey a few years ago.
Maybe the antidepressants, but he was kind of right about those too. So
sure,
sorry,
look,
Tom.
maybe he was a little out of it, but here's the thing: it's like they went after this guy like to the point of really trying to end his career, and this is the guy literally saving Hollywood right now.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Spielberg told him he saved cinema when 2 years ago.
I mean, kind of didn't he?
He did.
What
They
is
had the
it?
only
What do you need to
blockbuster
be
that year,
the
I
next
believe.
movie star? Like, do you need more?
Can't just be
I don't
talented
know. Like,
actor.
Tom Cruise did so many different types of movies. He wasn't just in one thing. He was in so many different, from
Mostly action,
let's
romance,
take him
and sci-fi, and a couple of political thrillers. He only did one comedy, really, and he should do more because he was really good in that.
No, I mean,
was it
Cocktail.
Jerry Maguire?
Cocktail was more like a kind of a romance thing, but it was kind of
How about
funny.
Tropic
Not
Thunder
nowhere
is-
near like Tropic Thunder, what he was doing there. Like
Yeah.
that's a thing that he should experiment more with because he can deliver on it. The other
But I'm
part too
talking
is
about the next movie star, like the guy he's saying, like he's done a lot. The next movie star needs to do a lot. But
Like
who's
Glenn
that
Powell's
guy?
good looking and strong and young and all that, but like, does he have the charisma to be?
He needs
The
more
next
movies
Tom?
under
Can
his
he
belt.
do comedy?
he
I
do
think he can do comedy. He can do action. I don't know. I don't know what. And do we need movie stars? It seems like now directors are the stars. Like we'll go and watch a director's movie more than we'll watch somebody like Brad Pitt or something's in a movie. It's like, okay, I didn't see Ad Astra.
Or the product is the star. Batman is the star. I don't give a fuck who plays him, but Batman is the star.
Yeah.
Type of
Well, we
thing.
do need stars because they can actually get movies that are not IP dependent, people excited for them and get them into the seats. And we haven't had real movie stars for a long time. And they've made efforts. I mean, Bradley Cooper was big for a very short spell, but it also didn't hold much. Tom Cruise has been pretty consistent. Yeah, you mentioned Glenn Powell. He's on the rise, but he's also 35. So he can play a young, strapping guy for at least another 10, 20 years. But how long is that really going to last overall? We have Henry Cavill, who's got a very passionate fan base for him, but sadly, when he's not in an IP-driven film, nobody really wants to show up and watch it. So yeah, we're kind of stuck in this weird limbo of like, where's the next kind of generation of talent, and Tom Cruise is desperately trying to pass the torch on. Like he mentioned, Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan's a great actor, and I can't wait to see him in more stuff. But like, we need other people of his contemporary age to kind of take charge and lead the way. But I don't think there's enough agents in town that want to do that. And I definitely know that there's not enough executives in town that want to do that, because they don't want to be beholden to the talent. They want to be the ones that are all powerful, all seeing, all manipulative of Hollywood and the audience.
But we also have to define what is a movie star, right? Like,
that's a good point, by the way.
How do we define that today, right?
To me, it's Oh.
Well, I was gonna say, because back in the day, we had Schwarzenegger or Stallone. Those guys were movie stars.
Well, you go to the movies to see that actor, regardless of the movie.
Right. Yeah. To watch those guys.
So it doesn't matter what the movie is. If they're in it,
we're watching
an Alan Ng movie.
Yeah. So who's that person now that just because they're in it, we're going to go watch
Keanu Reeves? But like, there's very few.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, there are very few actors right now.
Page.
Like guys in their 50s, right? Like where's the
guys already?
Right. Where's the 20s? Is it Timothy Chalamet? Am I going to any Timothy Chalamet movie? I don't know.
There's a big enough audience that will. Maybe not us. Let's see.
But Tom Cruise, you can really sense that he absolutely loves what he does.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if the movie and it's a collaborative effort. I think like when he's marketing this movie right now, he even said that he's like, it's not just my movie. We all made this movie. It's a whole collaborative effort. So like you can tell like he absolutely loves movies. He loves watching movies. He loves making movies. He loves doing all of the stunts in his movies. He loves what he does. And a lot of the up and coming actors love being adored by fans. Like they're in these movies because they know that it's going to get them attention and a bigger career. So like they love what comes with it. And so they'll do the job to get the perks as opposed to doing the job because they absolutely love what comes with the job. Like they love acting. I mean, you don't go into this not loving acting, of course, but I along the way, they sort of like lose that.
That's what Jodie Foster said, that all the new actors that she works with, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to put the time in because they don't actually want to be there. They just want like the accolades.
Spielberg mentioned that like actors will show up to set with their sides, like just because they care more about influencers, social media adulation. That's why I hate to say this, that's why I think British actors succeed so well in American productions. They are disciplined. The training,
it's their lines memorized.
Yeah, you said it, Alan. Work ethic.
Yep.
I'll say this. Maybe the male movie star is falling, but I think female movie stars like Jenna Ortega, I think she's a star if she keeps doing what she's doing. She's got a great work ethic. She's out there making movies and she's staying out of the political game. I like her. And then honestly, Sydney Sweeney. All right. Listen, I'll go and see any Sydney Sweeney movie that's out there right now because she again knows, she understands, hey, I'm a sexy blonde bombshell. I'm gonna keep doing that. And I'm all in.
Yeah.
All right. Related here. Oh, no, wait, one last thing I'll say about this. Tom Cruise pointed out a bunch of people. Brad Pitt in F1, which Alan, you and I saw the first
I'm excited
10
about
minutes. Amazing. Michael B. Jordan. These are all the people he mentioned don't really involve themselves in politics. And, there was that famous journalist at Cannes that tried to bait Tom Cruise into a Trump tariff. And he just said, we're here to talk about the movie. He knows that he's basically by his actions trying to say, here's how we bring people back, build an industry, right? This is that we stay focused on, hey, we're filled with gratitude and put out good movies people want to see.
And you know what? He wasn't rude about it. He answered them very, politely. He just said, hey, you know what? We'd rather just talk about the film.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, a Pedro Pascal will take any opportunity to spout politics, and I think it's really sad to see.
Is this the gayest film threat? I think it's the gayest film threat. I've heard that from several people.
I just love the look on Joaquin Phoenix's face while Pedro was talking. Because he was just like, dude, please shut up. Just
Did you see Joaquin waving and then Pedro put his hand down because he was afraid he would get My Heart Goes Out to You?
Yeah.
Because we can't wave anymore or gesture.
On tariffs, Wes Anderson spoke about the tariffs. And it's just he could have gone the way of Tom Cruise and been like, well, I'm not going to answer that. Let's keep the focus on something else. But no, he didn't. He ended up answering the question.
Well, there's even a way to answer it, to kind of dismiss it. Just say, hey, I'm for anything that will help this industry, help American films. And that's it. You're not taking a position. You're just saying anything we can do to help the industry, because there are people really hurting in California right now.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think it will get better anytime soon. And related to that, movie theaters are going the way of vinyl. This is from we know this person.
Yeah.
Verbal Riot on X posted, say what you want about Kevin Smith, but he's 100% right on this. Let's watch this clip and then we'll comment.
Because film exhibition's in the toilet. Because
but I like the theater. I like to go.
Sure, but you know what? Looking around here, are you the type of individual that also likes vinyl? Maybe
I have vinyl.
Some people are like, hey man, vinyl, I swear by it and shit. Cinema is going to become vinyl, which is like, it's never going away. But you keep looking at what's happening to multiplexes around the country. They're closing their 300-seat venues, their 200-seat venues, and they're putting in those couch chairs with the feet that go up and stuff like that. So suddenly
They'll
you go
deliver
from
your food to you.
They'll bring food right to you, but you're going from like the mass experience of like 250, 300 people in a theater to like 50 will sell this theater out because the ticket price has gone up, and hopefully we're going to sell you food and booze as well. That model seems completely fucking untenable. And I think that's why AMC, big companies like that, they're sweating and they're going like this up and down. The business still hasn't completely righted itself post-pandemic. Yes, Barbenheimer was great for things and whatnot, but there's not a Barbenheimer every week.
No.
And I don't think some of those cats are ever coming back for the theatrical experience, or maybe they'll come back once in a blue moon for something big. I think it's going to probably start being like Broadway. Broadway used to be everything, right? Then now it's like $150, $200 a ticket for the rarefied few who love it, but that's not mass consumption at this point.
So that's from Dante's account. Follow him at Verbal Riot Show. What do we think of Kevin's comment there, everyone?
Well, that comment comes from a show that aired almost a year ago. Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of You, and he's very much right. It's stuff that we've talked about on this show, how it's going to become boutique. Like that's what the theater thing is going to be, unless they kind of change their direction. They're able to get more butts in the seats and they're able to balance out the pricing and the economics for it. It's going to eventually become a boutique thing where you'll have one or two theaters within a big metropolis of a city that you go to for something equivalent to a Broadway show.
Yeah, it seems like every theater chain is on the brink of bankruptcy. I know Regal went through bankruptcy during the pandemic.
And the popcorn buckets are what's saving them right now because it's a merchandise store.
And those reclining chairs, because as he mentioned it, seeing a movie with 300 people sounds like a goddamn nightmare. 50 people in reclining chairs is fine. That's great. Just maybe make better movies so more people go.
Yeah. But the $20 price tag, that's the big one.
Yeah.
I recently went to the New Beverly. Forgot how old movie theaters used to look, and it's so different from what current movie theaters are at, like an AMC, it's, I don't know how do you save movie theaters the way things are going. The only way to do it is with a Minecraft or something like that, where you're trying to bring in the younger audiences. The younger audiences are watching TikTok videos. That's where they get their entertainment from. TikTok, YouTube. They're watching anime. They're not going into the movie theaters to watch. That's what we did. That's our older generation. So how do you get younger people to care about a movie if you're not doing something that's meme worthy, like Minecraft or like Despicable Me was the previous year? I don't know. I think he's right. It's going down that path where we're just not going to have theaters anymore. They're going to be super niche. You got to make it fun.
You have to make really good films. I mean, I went and saw Godzilla -1 multiple times in packed theaters. Yeah. That wasn't like a memeable film. It was just really good.
The other part too is that we have a drastic difference in how people date these days compared to 20 years ago. Movies were the date night movie. It's a little bit too expensive these days. I mean, me and my girlfriend, we go to comedy clubs. It is $10 a head to get inside, as opposed to $20 a ticket.
Yeah, but you got to buy drinks.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, but the drinks are also a lot cheaper than buying a drink at a movie theater too. Like you can get a picture for $12.50.
A Scotch and soda is cheaper than a Coke at
yeah, but you have to buy two. That's the problem.
You can buy that, or you can buy.
Dude, you're on a date. Of course, you're buying the
drinks. Get table service.
Yeah, buying 4 now. Yeah.
I mean, I'll just say this: the AMC, the one, all of them are carrying merch now. They're turning into like just like
toy departments.
GameStop. They've got to have
buckets are becoming
popcorn
insane.
buckets. Oh, by the way, Thunderbolts popcorn buckets readily available, $50 a pop.
I'm shocked.
Film Threat needs a popcorn bucket.
Well, we are going to have one before the end of the year.
By the way, what would movie theaters do without Funkos?
But I don't think that the merch is going to save it. I don't think that charging more money. You've got to make something that's mass appeal. And Badger, I disagree a little bit. 50 people. I remember as a kid going to see Star Wars in a theater with 1,200 people.
Yes,
1,200.
What theater did you go to?
Movie palaces. You know, like that experience is like, it's crazy the energy in the room when you see something like that with a big crowd.
Biggest room, Man's Chinese in Hollywood is the biggest theater I think I've been in. And so yeah, it was great. I saw a special edition of The Empire Strikes Back. Luke comes on screen, whole theater clapped. But also
Chris, you saw RRR there, and people were dancing.
No. That was they recreated dance numbers up front. It was insane, the celebration, that movie. Like,
yeah, but here's the thing: the theaters aren't going to survive based on these gimmicks, these
popcorn buckets.
Well, I'm just saying, like these special event type events, man. Like week to week, a movie theater is not raking in the kind of money they need, and these one-time events aren't going to save them, right? Like you could have like an R&R where they have like a full-on production and the orchestra's there, but you can only do that like twice, maybe 3 times.
Right.
That's not going to be the weekly experience for going to a movie. Back in the day, man, I mean, we keep talking about back in the day and the good old days, and we're old, we get it. But you could take a date to a film, to a movie, for like $20 and have popcorn and soda and all that. And it was a cheap way for normal, everyday people to go enjoy themselves outside of their house, right? I don't think we're going to get back to that point where theater tickets are going to be that cheap again, to where concession stands are going to be affordable. I mean, I joked earlier, but you are paying about $10 for a Coke.
Yeah.
Easily. You're paying $10 for a Coke.
Okay, it's 8.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
bring
but
back arcades, by the way. Bring back video game arcades.
Yeah. Well, look, I love movie theaters, but like the guy that was lectured by Kevin Smith in that video, like I also have
Rosenbaum.
Yeah,
that's Lex Luthor you're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, but I'm saying, like, I agree with him. I'm at the theater probably 3 times a week to see something, right? Anything. So I just hope it doesn't go away. And Hollywood
said it best. Movies for the everyman entertainment, and
they were blue collar entertainment. It was cheap.
Yeah,
and that's how some became successful. And the thing is, right now, I look at it as they're pricing themselves out of the very fan base that they need to survive.
Yep.
Well, they're pricing themselves out of the fan base. Hollywood is telling the fan base that they don't want you at their movie because movies aren't made for you, and then they're churning out crap. So it's just amalgamation of so many different things that are causing movie theaters to just go downhill.
Well, I'm not so much sure that Hollywood is saying they don't like you. I definitely know the trades are, because they're framing a lot of that. And people like Pedro Pascal that are easily baited by these are not helping the industry at all. Because Tom Cruise isn't saying he hates the fans. I haven't heard anyone on the James Gunn side of things with Superman saying that he hates the fans that want to see the movie yet.
No, just that one fake news story. But Pedro's so damn loud, and if it bleeds, it leads. So all we hear is Pedro. Very few.
So don't let him take up all the oxygen in the room. Let's go to the people that are actually like supportive of this. I'm waiting to hear some people from Universal talking and promoting about their upcoming movies, because I'd like to get them in on the conversation so they can realize that Disney has lost its crown of Hollywood.
Well, the press loves Pedro, but I think the audiences, are indifferent. Seriously,
Pedro fatigue.
It's Pedro, but it's like audiences indifferent. The press loves Pedro, loves him.
Well, Hollywood loves him too because they keep putting him in everything, man. It's like this dude shows up in every other movie.
Or what's Hollywood putting in Pedro?
Right now, I think it's like banks and creditors that are like banking on Pedro Pascal because they see him in so many movies. They're like, oh, he's kind of a sure thing, but they're not paying attention to how he interacts with audiences, how he's interacting with the press, any of that type of stuff. Because it's very antithetical to saying, yeah, we should have Pedro in all these movies, as opposed to, well, maybe we should have him do something that actually stretches his talent, which is few and far between, sadly, because he's been playing kind of a similar roles, or at least similar executions of those roles, with very rare exceptions, except for like that Nick Cage movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Like, that was the first time I saw him do something great.
That was fun. Yeah. It's also what Johnny Skinwalker said. He's the token Hispanic, but he's white passing. That's what's called international appeal. It's why Zendaya's in fucking everything, because she has international appeal means she's just white enough for the racists to enjoy it. Sorry.
So much Pedro makes me long for an Aquafina movie.
Oh no!
You know what? Maybe I'm blanking out here. What was the last successful Pedro Pascal movie?
I mean, we saw that one movie, but he wasn't really Freaky Tales.
Well, no, but it wasn't
He's not
successful.
the focus.
No, it was good, but not successful. What was the last successful Pedro
The Wild
Pascal?
Robot?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it wasn't
probably.
successful because of him.
Yeah, that's true.
He's just in it.
But he was
So,
in it.
The fact that we can't even remember or think of what his last successful movie was, or even if he had one.
Game of Thrones is the only thing I've enjoyed him in, and that was a television show.
So how is he getting cast and everything if there's no if we can't think of one successful Pedro Pascal movie?
Well,
oddly enough,
international
I
appeal.
think it's because Antonio Banderas was too expensive, and so was Benjamin Bratt. As weird as to say, I think their prices got up, and they went for the cheap Hispanic looking guy, and now his price is starting to go up, and he's eventually going to be pricing himself out of Hollywood.
Discount Banderas.
He's the
gender
Timu-
fluid.
It's
Timu-
funny. I'm looking at his IMDb, and the thing that sticks out to me is Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, life is good, but it could be better.
Not a good movie.
Okay, so now we can. There's some bullshit going on here now, right?
How did Gladiator do?
everything?
Oh my God, Gladiator!
Yeah, Gladiator.
Gladiator
Oh,
two.
my
Right,
God.
he wasn't
How did that
Gladiator.
do? Was that successful? I don't remember.
No, it was not successful.
Definitely not like the original.
And that had Denzel and everything, so I don't think you can put it necessarily on Pedro.
This is your Mr. Fantastic. This is supposed to be the narrative lead for Doomsday, and the same Mr. Fantastic that will usher in the new whatever the hell MCU looks like after
Again,
Secret Wars.
I'll say it. After seeing that movie, Fight or Flight, Josh Hartnett should have been Reed Richards.
Oh, Josh
He'd
can
make
get
better
better too.
Josh Hartnett.
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah. He's getting his second life in Hollywood. Like, I love
Well,
it.
he was great in Oppenheimer too. Like, I almost didn't
He
recognize
was.
him at first. Yeah.
He was great.
Well,
Okay.
Josh Hartnett has always been a good actor, though.
Yeah. Sin City,
100%.
even just that first scene, he's in it for like 3 minutes.
Oh
and
yeah.
kills it.
All right. Switching gears for a second. I want to get your reaction to this trailer. Dave Franco and Alison Brie are a married couple. They also star together in a horror film called Together, which Alan will see. Let's watch the trailer, and then I have some news about this movie. So let's watch it.
I love you. What's going on?
I don't know. Since the move, Tim and I haven't been on the same page.
Please, do you love each other?
Maybe we're just complacent.
Well, you know, complacency can sometimes simply be harmony. You know, this could be the beginning
Roll over, let me on my hair.
of something wonderful.
Tim.
Oh my God.
We spend our lives in search of the other half. If you think you found that, don't be so quick to let it go.
I think something's happening to us.
We've got to get out of here. Now. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Billy, wake up!
You'll be okay. Oh.
Well, what do we think of the trailer? And welcome, Robert Meyer Burnett. Thanks for joining us.
Happy
Appreciate
birthday.
it.
Thank you. It has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's being sued.
That's what I'm about to get to. But
Leading
tell
up
me what you think
What?
of this.
Yo, that trailer looks wild. I'm
It
all the way
does.
in on this one, man. That thing looks
Oh.
insane. Yeah, I
Looks
can't
a little
wait for that.
familiar to Substance and maybe another film from 2023. I don't know.
But will it come out? It is being alleged that this film, the concept, everything about it was taken from another movie, and they're being accused of copyright infringement in a suit. This is from Deadline. I don't know if you
Yeah, I have it.
okay, great. If you want to say go ahead, Badger.
Alison, Brie, Dave Franco, and director Michael Shanks, not the Michael Shanks from Stargate SG-1, just same name, are facing a copyright infringement lawsuit over their upcoming film Together, alongside talent agency WME and distributor Neon. Filed by independent production company Studio Fest, the suit claims that Together is a direct copy of Better Half, a 2023 indie film written and directed by Patrick Henry Fallon. According to the complaint, Better Half was pitched to Brie and Franco in 2020, but they declined the project, allegedly expressing a desire to produce a similar film through WME using an in-agency writer. Studio Fest later discovered that Brie and Franco were producing and starring in Together, which premiered at Sundance 2025 and was acquired by Neon for $17 million. The lawsuit argues that Together shares striking similarities with Better Half, with both films focusing on a couple who wake up physically fused together, symbolizing toxic codependency. Studio Fest claims the newer film lifts not only the central concept, but also plot, characters, dialogue, pacing, and tone from Better Half. The company is seeking damages and an injunction to block the release of Together, currently set for July 30th. WME has called the lawsuit frivolous and without merit, while Neon has not yet responded publicly.
Okay, so what do we think about this? I don't know. I think it's crazy. If they block this movie coming out, that's saying something. I'm not familiar with the movie Better Half.
Can he prove that they met?
I don't think there is a movie Better Half. There's a script that was pitched.
No, it was made.
Oh,
No,
was
Better
it?
Half was made.
It- from 2015.
No, there's one in 2023.
No, there's one in
2023, yeah.
2023 called Better Half, and it sounds strikingly similar. I haven't
And
seen
can
it.
you prove that they knew that they actually were approached them together? Because that to me is the biggest
If there's
damning thing.
if there's email or any sort of correspondence, chain of custody, that will bring enough doubt for arbitration to pretty much rule in Better Half's favor. And having been in arbitration a few times, I know how this kind of works out. So if they can prove that, yes, they sent out a pitch and that there was a response from either Alison, Brie, Dave Franco, or one of the representatives, that is going to be pretty damaging to the movie Together, because that shows a record of it. Now, if he just did an unsolicited email correspondence to them and they never replied, there's room for doubt for saying that they never saw it. It went into junk, went into spam. They deleted it because they didn't want any, pollution or what have you. That can help them out, but it's going to be a nice little touch and go lawsuit that I'm now interested in following.
Yeah, I mean, the plot of Better Half is Arturo, who is searching for true love, and Daphne, a polygamist allergic to commitment, meet for a one-night stand, but they end up finding their missing halves when their bodies fuse together during sex.
And given the opening lines of Dave Franco saying "I love you" and Alison Brie saying "okay," you kind of get a sense of one is more committed to a romance than the other, and a polygamist is definitely not committed to a romance. So,
yeah, I mean, or it could be a case of when there was body swapping movies, 17 going on 30 or whatever. Volcano and Dante's Peak, Deep Impact and Armageddon. There's plenty
broad
of
premises. Yeah, a broad premise that just happens to overlap. Those things happen more often than people want to admit. Yeah,
and usually because something was in the zeitgeist that triggered writers or filmmakers to come up with a similar idea, because they were triggered by something. Maybe it was an article that appeared in a magazine, or there was something that came out that inspired people to have a similar creative spark. That had nothing to, that was just out in the zeitgeist somewhere.
Yeah, well, 10,000 writers all reading the same, articles, trades, stories, what have you, looking for the next script idea are going to eventually overlap. I mean, I've had a great friend of mine who I've known for like 20 years. We hadn't seen each other in 5, but we both pitched the same project almost similarly with very little distinctions to Warner Brothers within the same quarter.
Armageddon and Deep Impact?
No, we were in the industry at that point, but similar in reigns of that. But it was just funny because we both read the same article and got inspired in the same way. Yeah.
DeCruz says White House down and Olympus has fallen. Same thing. Exactly.
Ants, Bugs Life. There's been a couple. Dark City Matrix, or 13th Floor, actually. But
Badger, I think you're on the wrong mic.
You're on the wrong.
You're on the wrong mic.
Wasn't there an episode of What's Happening based on this idea?
I blame StreamYards.
Yeah. That's okay. It's no, but look, I do think there are similar ideas in the zeitgeist. People are influenced by similar things, and can come up with a similar idea separately and never meet. But it sounds like in this case there was some connection. They did have it. Could they have been? This is why you should never send a project out that is not like, unless someone. It comes in professionally through representation. Don't send ideas out to just anyone. Never do that.
Right, well, they're saying that they sent it.
If it was pitched, if they had pitched it to Brie and Franco, then you do have a problem.
And then when you have an agency wanting to package their own writer with the idea, it sounded like it went a little further than just a pitch.
Yeah,
right.
So, and that's probably provable. There were probably meetings. Like Script said, emails back and forth. Yeah. But either way, it's just it's a dumb thing to do. If you've heard a pitch and you want to rip it off, don't do that.
Well, and the other part too is that this is technically an Alison Brie, Dave Franco, their own independent film. This is not backed by a big Hollywood studio. This is them doing it first, making it, and then shopping it around with WME as part production. And this is one of the things that I say within the industry is that if you're pitching to a Hollywood studio, they won't even entertain the idea if they're working on it. They'll knock you out. And if you pitch to an independent, there is a chance they'll steal it, because every independent person is trying to get that next step up so that they can get into the Hollywood space. But actual studios themselves, they don't care enough to steal. They'd rather hire you directly if you came up with the idea and make all the money together, because they know, oh, this is a new talent we can rely on. Whereas other people in the independent sphere, if they're being stuck there for too many years, they will grab and steal anything they can to try and make that next stepping stone achievable. And that's why it's usually always better to make a proper correspondence, make sure you have a chain of custody with regards to the material you're pitching, so that in the event you get into a situation like this, it can be resolved rather quickly, because there it all is. I talked to this person. We talked specifically about this. These are the dates. This is the receipt of the dinner that I paid for the conversation. They decided to go take my idea, or I maybe took their idea, and now I'm been caught, and now my career is going to be in question in the future, because once you get exposed for stealing, it's really, really, really hard to earn that trust back again, unless you have a best friend that's a really top executive that's going to hire you later.
Would the WGA advocate for this guy? Would the WGA advocate for this guy at all, or is he on his own?
If he's a guild member, they're supposed to.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this would go into not arbitration, but it wouldn't be arbitration because they're different scripts.
Yeah, it would be. it would be similar to it, but the fact of the matter is that there's two different IPs. One's already been produced, so it would just go into a civil dispute instead of that.
But another thing that's really interesting is there's lawyers that oversee productions, like you, and the fact that a lawyer wouldn't have caught something like this already.
Get this
if the
far,
movie was,
yeah.
Yeah, if the movie was already, but then again, they made the Dukes of Hazzard movie at Warner Brothers, and they didn't have the rights to the Dukes of Hazzard. They didn't have the proper rights, so
yep,
it can happen to anybody. And then they had to pay a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I'm curious about is the trailer's out. They have a date, July 30th, and this isn't. I saw there's a movie that Dave Franco and Alison Brie are also in called The Rental, a decent horror film about an Airbnb. That I saw came out in 2020.
And Dave Franco was hilarious in this week's episode of The Studio, or last week's episode.
I have
Dave
not
Franco
seen...
is a surprisingly good actor, man.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But blocking the actual release of a movie, I can't remember that happening ever.
Are they going to do that? Are they trying to do that?
That's what they're asking for. Yeah.
They're asking to block the release of the film. That's insane.
So how's that work? Any theater that would show it, or if they released it, they would get in trouble?
No, they would just not release the film.
Yeah, it'd be an interference in distribution. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Let's go to some soups here, and we have some more news stories.
Jeremiah Himbry for 5. Will Superman beat Fantastic Four because a certain actor can't keep his mouth politically shut? Yeah.
That's I don't know. I think Superman is I think we kind of know from Marvel what FF will be, Fantastic Four. And I think the two things, just from what we've seen so far, Pedro feels miscast to me. And a female Silver Surfer doesn't seem to work. It doesn't look good. And they're doing last minute reshoots.
The Fantastic Four trailer has 19 million views. The new Superman trailer has 27 million views.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think Superman has the edge right now. So I don't know. Anyone else have thoughts?
I just think Superman's a bigger name. I mean, everybody in the world knows who Superman is. No matter where you go, no matter what country you're in, you could be in a small village in Africa. You hold up that symbol, that S symbol, they know exactly who that is, right?
Superman.
Fantastic Four,
Superman.
not as much. I mean, like, yeah, we know who they are, obviously, because we're nerds. And people know because of the Jessica Alba movies, they have an idea of who they are. But outside of that, Superman wins.
I think that we've seen actually very little from Fantastic Four, though. I mean,
True.
if you think about it, okay, they've shown us that Galactus is in the movie, and then they showed us some interaction with the Fantastic Four. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot. You don't see a wide variety of action scenes. I think there's a lot more to the movie than they're letting go of. I would imagine so.
I'd hope,
because it just, to me, I found those trailers to be entirely lackluster. You know, they keep repeating the same things over and over again, and they've given us no idea. It's almost like they're just relying on people's previous knowledge of the Fantastic Four. They haven't even like what is that movie even about, aside from Galactus coming, which is the most cliche idea behind a Fantastic Four movie ever. I mean, that's, you know, you're going back into the 60s. Galactus shows up. He wants to eat the Earth. Okay. Well, then what? What's a 2-hour movie filled with? Yeah. And so I think that the Fantastic Four might have the potential to surprise us. That's what I'm trying to say.
What about Superman? I know you, I watched your stream, Rob. You did not love the trailer for Superman.
No, I thought it was okay. I thought it was a bad trailer. What I thought. I thought it was a bad trailer. And as somebody who has edited trailers for a living, I can tell you it was not a good trailer. And I think the reason I said it, but in a nutshell, when they get closer to a movie, they have these they're themed trailers that actually have titles. And this trailer was just an amalgamation of previously existing scenes from the same scenes we've already been shown. But there was no through line to it. Like if I was tasked with the idea of cutting that trailer, I would have said, okay, the Lois Superman interview, you get 3 sound bites from that interview. and you could have, there was no, and then you use that as the spine of which you cut the trailer on, and then you intercut other people talking, and then you fill it up with B-roll and imagery. That's basically the formula of how a trailer is made. And there was no through line in that trailer. So I would have thought the interview would have been a perfect way. You have, let me sit down and interview you. That would have been the first bit. Then you show clips and you cut to, well, I was trying to stop
with him actually doing stuff.
Yeah, and then I was trying to stop a war. And then over it, you would have heard her say, well, what about defying the president? You cut to him jumping up and being angry. And then at the end, you would have a kicker where Lois would say, well, I guess sometimes people think you're less than super or something. And then you have, but you know what I mean? So you tell a story within those 2 minutes of a trailer. And I thought that trailer was sort of disjointed because then they just relied on showing us more variations on what we had already seen. And you didn't hear, why should we go? The question should always be, what, aside from the fact it's Superman, what is the idea behind it? We've already seen Superman, whether it's Superboy, whether it's Lois and Clark, whether it's Donner's movie, whether it's Man of Steel, whether it's Superman Returns. We've seen Superman. Why should we go see this iteration of Superman? What is it that this iteration gives us that we haven't seen before? Crypto's not enough. And there's got to be some way of and what I'm saying is, what is the intellectual or the hook that makes us be like, I got to go see that?
People were gonna die. That's the hook.
Well, to throw it back to a movie that you did work on as a documentarian, Superman Returns. There's a question there. Superman's been gone for 5 years. Like, you've been gone a long time. Where have you been? That was your opening question to that first trailer. That is a great way for people to lean in and go, oh, that's interesting. Let's go take a look at that.
That's exactly right. And you could say that, look, the trailers for Superman Returns were terrific, and the movie might not have lived up to those trailers.
The greatest trailers I think we've had is for Superman Returns.
Yeah, the trailers, that first one with the legendary logo, when you first, it opens with, you hear Marlon Brando, and like the second shot is the Kent mailbox with the sun rising. It's an unbelievable trailer.
With the Krypton theme, it's perfect. And we've yet to feel anything like that.
This is a great segue into our next topic, fan trailer released of, so never mind.
Well, Rob, did you see that fan trailer?
Yeah, the one that Perry Chan cut.
Yeah, what do you think?
I thought it was. I didn't think the ending was good, but I thought it was a better. It was a better trailer,
right?
You know, and I think that you have to ask. Like it seems to me that the marketing. We live in a world where, if you're at all interested in movies, a cursory glance at the internet can tell you what is the temperature. Let's go take a temperature about how the world feels about this movie. And obviously the views on the trailer, a lot of views, a lot of people like the trailer, but there are questions you can immediately get those answers to. And I think that these trailers have some heavy lifting to do, more so than other trailers do. Because there's been previous iterations of Superman. And I still don't know, why should I see this? I'm going to see it anyway, obviously, but what is it that's drawing someone else, aside from the fact that it's Superman? What is it? What is this movie going to show me, or question, or what is it going to deliver to me that I've never had before? What am I going to know about Superman that I've never heard before? And I think that like, one of the things about, if you watch the original trailer for Man of Steel, where you see Americana, you see a very realistic, kind of washed out, when you see the butterfly caught in the fence, and you see the kid, young Clark, tying the sheet around his neck, and you see this sort of Americana vision of Superman, and then coupled with modern effects, that was irresistible. You know, it's promising you something that perhaps a tone that we haven't seen before. But this movie, I guess this movie presents a tone we haven't seen
and
before.
Unfortunately, and I hate to, if you've seen Creature Commandos, you do get different things out of that trailer.
Yeah.
No, and I mean this in a good way, in the sense that, like, if you did watch it, you'd see the world that Gunn already set up, where everyone's already used to super battles in the street. Like, I know everyone's joking about the chick taking the selfie. That's meant to show you how blasé everyone is about superhero fights, not to be a cheap joke. So I think what you're getting is Superman is not like all these other asshole. We're sort of doing reverse Kingdom Come. He's not like all those other superheroes that don't maybe care so much about civilian casualties or fighting in the streets. And he is morals, but people were going to die. He is that, but they need to focus on that in the trailers and show that he's what Robert was trying to. Yeah.
On July 7th, 4 days before the movie officially opens on the 10th, you can get tickets to see Superman through your Amazon Prime account. They did this with early screenings of Rings of Power. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I think they should just, show it. You can buy tickets, whatever. They're making it overly complex. Who knows? We should all try to get tickets to see it 4 days early. But it's connected to your Prime account. It's weird. And I remember when they did the Rings of Power thing, the best part, it was free. And there was, you got popcorn and a drink free. But this, I don't know. Does this mean they're very confident in the movie?
I think so.
I do too.
Yep.
I mean, there's a style to this film that we haven't seen in other Superman. When you take a look at the fashion of the people in the background, it's like a hodgepodge of like late 90s and late 70s, like fashion.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. And to Robert's point, there is a question in this, but it's not out front center as much as we'd want it to be. And that is, we have a world that it doesn't just fall to their knees in praise of Superman. They're actually like very critical of him. They don't like him. He's like what Badger said earlier, he bucks the trend by having like a reverse Kingdom Come, which is what a lot of people figured out was going to be the case when James Gunn and Peter Safran made that statement that Superman is a man who believes in kindness in a world where kindness isn't really treated as something respectable. And I think that's part of the arc of the story, is that he's the type of guy that's going to bring these people out of their apathy towards superheroes destroying their city by showing people how it's done. Ideally, I hope that's what's going to be, that he shows people how it's done and that they start to actually rally behind them. And even in the trailer where Lois says that, questions whether Superman stopped a war, that's a very valid question, because remember, she's a military brat. Her father's a general. One battle does not necessarily mean the end of a war. Now, is Superman going to have to now go to that territory on a regular basis to ensure that no battle happens ever again? Those are great
that guy that he's fighting. The guy that he's fighting, the Hammer of Baravia, Baravia's the country he's intervening in. You just gave license to their hero, which may or may not be an agent of Lex, to come intervene in our. So it's a whole new. Yeah, I get this is all our best interpretation, by the way, that it'll be handled this well. But
yeah,
we can hope, only hope, right?
Yeah. And also, you've got the Justice League that's probably officially sanctioned. They're a corporate
Justice Gang.
And it's going to have something to do with kind of like the boys.
Yeah.
How the seven.
To answer this question, I think Superman is the better bet than Fantastic Four. What does everyone else think?
Yeah.
I think so, purely because of James Gunn. Just because it's James Gunn, I'm going to put my money on him.
Yeah, and also because Marvel is just languishing right now. They're spiraling. We got 2 bad movies this year, or 2 box office flops, whether you like the movies or not. And then Daredevil didn't do any wonders for the brand, and neither, I don't think, what's her name now? Ironheart. I don't think Ironheart's going to do any favors for the brand either. And that's what's leading into Fantastic Four. So we've had nothing but bad movies and bad television shows. So I think the brand is damaged and it's poison, and people are just staying away. And so, Superman will probably stand tall, against those odds.
Yeah, Ironheart will potentially just add to the brand damage of Marvel. So
if it resonates, I mean, it could be like an echo. People completely forget it.
Yeah, I think we'll forget about it. We'll make fun of it. We'll forget about it.
There's more Superman merch in the world than there is Fantastic Four merch.
Right. And by the way, the person I know at Marvel said Ironheart is the worst thing Marvel has ever produced, and he's including Echo.
He said that about Echo.
I believe it.
Wow.
No, like including Echo.
What do you say about Echo? What do you compare?
The worst thing. Okay, let's get through
Yeah,
this.
did D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox react to the trailer for Ironheart?
It's painful.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Those poor actors.
There you go.
Yeah, they got forced.
I hope the money was worth it.
Maybe
no one.
They got a shield for the mouse, man. They got a shield.
Shout out to No One Can Eat 50 Eggs, became a YouTube member.
Yeah,
I can eat 50 eggs.
Paul Newman says that's wrong. So
Will Yum, member for 10 months. I'd get premium subscription to watch movies at home same day they release in theaters, $100 to $150 a month to have every theater release during their run. Alternatives. Rated M for $4.99. People went to theaters to watch new episodes of Game of Thrones. If the marketing was done well and the quality was there, things would be better.
Agree.
Pilgrim Media for $2. I vote Banderas was great in 13th Warriors.
Yes. I
Yeah.
agree.
13 Warriors.
Cool. Let's talk Star Wars.
Sorry, one more just came in.
Oh,
no one
sure.
can eat
Sorry, let's go
50
there.
eggs for $2 in Superman. Is Pedro playing the kaiju? Yeah, in Superman is Pedro playing the kaiju.
Pedro is the kaiju.
A little
in
wonky
Superman.
eyed.
Thank you for
Kaiju
that.
Pascal.
Hey, some Superman news. Did you hear about this? SAG-AFTRA files unfair labor practice complaint due to AI Darth Vader. Now, what is this in? If you play Fortnite, is it Fortnite?
Yes, Fortnite.
Yes,
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Yes, Fortnite. I'm a
They
big
currently have a
gamer.
Star Wars edition going on. where you
I
can
was
play it.
fine with it until I realized what it really was. So I thought it was just an NPC that follows you around and says canned lines. It is an actual AI chatbot that uses like the Vader voice, like the re-speecher version, to say things, and you can already guess the fun things that they've had Vader say,
Oh yeah, it's
like
the internet.
tricking it into
Yep.
conversations. Yeah,
Yeah, so an AI Vader you can talk to, comments on your username. I've heard a lot of clips. Maybe we'll find some clips here we can play.
Skibbity toilet, Chris.
But I love Skibbity toilet.
So does Vader.
He says it. He says "Skibbity toilet."
It says
Oh
a
my
little fun.
God.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we think of this? SAG-AFTRA's comment on this. I don't know if you have the notes.
Yes, I do.
Magic.
Go
ahead.
Fortnite has found itself at the heart of a growing labor dispute after SAG-AFTRA filed an unfair labor practice charge against Llama Productions, an Epic Games subsidiary, for using an AI-generated voice of Darth Vader without union consultation. So the voice mimics the legendary tones of James Earl Jones, prompting both admiration and outrage. While Jones' family approved of the use, so the family approved of it, the use of the voice to preserve the legacy of the character for future generations, the union argues that the unilateral replacement of human performers with synthetic voices violates labor rights and undermines the livelihoods of working actors. They emphasize that while technology can be embraced, it must be implemented through negotiation and mutual respect for human labor.
But didn't James Earl Jones sell the rights to his voice for Disney?
He
in perpetuity
did, and
throughout
they
the
use it
universe?
all the time, that
Did.
re-speecher for
Yeah.
his voice. But this
In fact,
is
I have the
separate.
statement. I have the statement from the Jones family about the Fortnite use. It says James Earl felt that the voice of Darth Vader was inseparable from the story of Star Wars, and he always wanted fans of all ages to continue to experience it. We hope that this collaboration with Fortnite will allow both longtime fans of Darth Vader and newer generations to share the enjoyment of this iconic character.
So
Yeah.
the thing that SAG-AFTRA is arguing here, and I think this has to do with Duncan Crabtree Ireland, who has not been very helpful with SAG-AFTRA, because they're trying to imply that it's okay to sell the voice, but you need an actor to actually do it, so that that is what's being replaced by the AI version. But they didn't negotiate that as what was recommended by a lot of the writers of the Writers Guild to the actors when they're during their strike for protections of that. Duncan Crabtree Ireland screwed the pooch again because he's a terrible representative for SAG-AFTRA. And now, because he's been called out on it, I think he might be one of the people in response to filing this suit, because he did not have the foresight to realize what it was he was negotiating beforehand. But
The
guess
family
what?
said
James Earl
okay.
Jones, he owned the rights. He has passed away. Before he did that, he sold them outright with regards to specifics of Darth Vader to Disney for them to license and do with whatever they please.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also Fortnite. This is not a Disney production. It's not, it is literally, he did this. The family said it's okay.
Yeah. I think also SAG-AFTRA is still technically striking against video games right now because they haven't got a proper negotiation. So there was
more
on
of
top
this.
of it as well. Yeah.
It says the complaint marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing debate over digital replication and entertainment. The grievance underscores a broader concern. Who controls the future of artistic performance, creatives or corporations?
Well, James Earl Jones controlled the future of his own voice.
Right.
That's what I was going to say. It's his voice.
I mean, he made the deal and sold it to Disney.
I
This
think they're
seems like
trying
a
to make the
symbology
argument.
thing.
Who I can't remember the name, but the argument for the actor who played Grand Moff Tarkin, but it was digitally physically replaced, and the voice was kind of altered to better
Cushing.
match that. Yeah,
Peter Cushing.
Well,
Yeah.
who plays? Yeah, but there's another actor that played him and did the performance, and then
Oh,
they put
right.
Cushing's over top of
Wayne
it.
Pilgrim. Not this. Yeah, he's the guy that plays also, and he's like Scorpius, and
Scorpion, he's a couple of other characters. So they're trying to argue that you can put an actor in there, they can do the performance, and then you just modify it so that it fits the art of the voice that was copied into. That's what they're trying to do. But again, as I said earlier, Duncan Crouchy Ireland did not negotiate that as a stipulation with their contract. So he dropped the ball there, and he's trying to correct it with this lawsuit. If he is indeed one of the people involved in the lawsuit, which I suspect he would be.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but you're going to have to go back to the negotiating table next year to get that fixed. And it's going to be hard because you screwed it the first time.
Here's the thing that stuck out to me in this statement that SAG put out. Midway through the first paragraph, it says, however, this is SAG-AFTRA, we must protect our right to bargain terms and conditions around uses of voice that replace the work of our members. It just came across as they didn't come to us. They just went and did this thing and didn't even bother to involve SAG in it.
But they were well within their right to do so because James Earl Jones and his estate already took care of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Right, but it's sour grapes. It's like, well,
Yes.
you did it, but you didn't even, so now we're going to sue you because you didn't come to us.
There's this other actor who can do a great James Earl Jones impression. If you combined him with his artificial voice, it would have been better, very authentic. But no, you didn't come
It's
to
also
us. Well, he didn't
beyond
have
the
to.
scope of another actor because it's an AI bot that's on the fly generating. It's not, what are you going to have it do? Have an actor sit there and say 20,000 words and no.
Right.
This is what's going to happen. I mean, we're going to live in some really weird, crazy times. But in the case of this, James Earl Jones sold his voice. His estate gets to benefit. His family benefits. There's probably a per use fee or something, maybe. Like every time they use it, they have to pay
License renting or something.
Something. They have an overall, but they have to pay on a per project basis or something like that, which I think is very smart for a character like Darth Vader because Darth Vader will be Darth Vader forever. And like what James Earl Jones's family said, that's exactly what he was looking for. And I think that SAG should pay attention to actors that are alive today. I mean, the character of Darth Vader is now off the table. And that's something that was done legally. It was done up front. It was done at the behest of the actor. I think that's the way it should be done.
Ian McKellen Gandalf, how long before he sells it? He sells his voice to be. I was like, I'm joking, but I'm not joking now because
just for clarity, it's not his voice he sold; it was the Darth Vader voice that he sold.
Right.
It's not like
Yes.
Not like you can go and do James Earl Jones in anything.
Right.
Yeah, he's not going to be doing it, showing up in The Lion King again, unless they decide to put Darth Vader in The Lion King.
The difference is Disney owns the character of Darth Vader,
right?
Whereas Gandalf is not owned by Warner Brothers or New Line.
Well, this is going to be interesting going forward, like what it means for other maybe deceased actors like James Dean, Marilyn Monroe. I mean, those are licensed actors that sell merch. Will we see James Dean in a new movie, an AI version?
Well, he himself never got to say that was okay.
Well, that's true, but
I mean that would be
there's an estate.
Yeah, but I mean I think, and that's an ethical question we're going to have to grapple with.
Absolutely,
that's what I'm saying. So it's unanswered, but Darth Vader is an iconic villain, maybe the greatest movie villain of all time. Period.
Yeah.
So this is unique, but that's an interesting precedent. I want to end on this with some commentary here. Rob, you did an amazing commentary on this article.
Yeah.
I'll bring it up. Is this the worst ever era of
you touched
American
on this last week?
Yeah. It's but I want to what my take is I agree. Music, when I think of I went to a concert this past weekend. I went to a thing called Cruel World. It was in Pasadena. There was Amy Mann brought her old band back after 40 years till Tuesday. New Order was there. The Go-Go's, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. It was an
Devo,
I mean,
the Buzzcocks. I mean, it was an
Devo,
amazing lineup.
oh my God, Devo! I was in heaven. And as I'm listening to these bands do 20-minute sets of their hits, I think, where have we come? I'm brought back to that MTV era where stuff was new, it was exciting, it was incredible, it was everything. Then even like movies that we sort of would brush off as it was whatever at the time, now are kind of iconic. And I think in terms of present day, we are truly living, like, if you would make a period piece, make a film set in the 80s, you know what people would wear, right? Clothing wise, or the 70s. If you made a period piece about 2025, what are people wearing?
Nose rings.
Same stuff from the year 2000.
Right. What is
from past 20 years? Yeah.
What does today represent? And it got me thinking. I think I can only think of one area for good or bad that actually is delivering iconic and really amazing films, and that's horror. And Variety says horror overkill. Too many scary movies set for 2025 theatrical releases. I think we're going through a golden age of horror.
I do too.
Final Destination Bloodlines, which I recommend. We're going to see Bring Her Back, which is a follow-up from the filmmakers who made Talk to Me. And when you look, I'll scroll down to this.
We got Weapons coming out from Zach Kreger, who made Barbarian.
It's unbelievable. This is smart horror. Everything from, your gore horror, typical stuff,
gore horror,
to your like public domain Bambi the Reckoning, that's coming out. Public domain horror like Popeye the Slayer Man, to like bigger movies, and even Him from Jordan Peele. He's produced it. But look at this. These are wide release horror films by studio, and they're all releasing more. Why? Horror is a better bet. Neon putting out 6 this year. Last year was 3. Universal 7. Last year 5. Sony 5 horror films this year. Last year 2. Warner Brothers 5. Last year 2. I mean, that's it's amazing. I think horror is going through a whole renaissance. Do you agree? What do you think?
I think the thing with horror is that you can actually, horror is more of a nickel and dime kind of situation. You know what I mean? It's you're never going to have super huge profit with a horror film, but you are going to have profit, right? You're not going to see $1 billion, profit horror film, but you're going to see at least a double in what you got out and what you paid for, right? So it's kind of like a nickel and dime. Horror films are always going to do well. It's always, for the most part, because they're not political. Right. Another reason is most horror directors and actors don't really insult their fan base. So I think horror films have a lot going for it. The thing is, though, you're never going to get too far with a horror film, but you will make a profit, and I think that's what some of these studios are looking for.
We have potentially Sinners. Real quick, Seth. Sorry, like Sinners will be one of the biggest movies of the year, and potentially Oscar winning. And it's a horror film. So
it's it is, but it's not. It's more like a culture film. Sinners it's vampires, but I'm still reluctant to call it a horror film. But like maybe a folklore film, but
yeah, but they marketed it as kind of a scary movie.
Steph, you were trying to. I apologize.
By the way, I should mention my daughter rated us.
Wait, can every person interrupt Steph?
I'm just saying that X-Ray Girl rated us, and so welcome.
Thanks,
to all
X-Ray.
Thank you, X-Ray
all
Girl.
the new viewers for there. Okay.
Appreciate
it. No, I was gonna say horror movies aren't too expensive to make. They don't have huge, enormous budgets, so they are definitely going to make money. And usually horror audiences know what they're getting into. They know that they want to go to the movies for that adrenaline rush, to be scared, especially like a lot of the franchises of these horror movies. They have a really good cult following, so they're always going to make money. As far as like the title of that article, what did it say at the top? Horror overkill. There's too many.
Yeah.
I haven't read this article, but like from the title, it just seems like, oh, the horror genre is taking away money that other movies can be making. So there's just a little bit of, I don't know. To me, it seems like there's just a little bit of salt added to that. Like, it's horror overkill. Why are you making all these movies? Well, they're cheap and they make money.
Yeah.
I don't think it's overkill. It's just, catering to that horror genre audience, which is good.
But
I don't
horror
get
is
the
such
sense
a
that there are that many more horror films being made this year than it was last year or the year before or the year before that.
Maybe
Horror
it's the
has
same
always been
amount,
there.
but
Yeah,
because
it's
we're
just
reducing other movies, it looks like there's more
Yeah.
scary movies, but it's just the same amount as there's always been.
I mean,
These
horror took
studios
away all
are
the
releasing
Thunderbolt
more.
dollars. Yeah.
How dare you?
It did, yeah.
I was scared.
Well, I think they're a better bet, and also it's a better delivery system. I think if you really want to comment on something in society, I feel like we work it out in our heads via horror, right? I mean, really, truly, that it is the genre. Like after 9/11, torture porn became practically a genre unto itself in terms of
Hostel
horror,
and
right? Yeah, those movies like that was post 9/11, and I think it's a great way to work out our demons in the zeitgeist, so to speak, via horror. And so I'm all about it. I like horror movies that have layers that are more psychological.
That probably speaks to this resurgence.
Yes, that's
another way for
exactly-
people to get their stuff out.
So my question is, how do horror films do overseas?
Well, it may not
Depends on who's
even
being
matter
killed.
because you're not
Final
spending too
Destination
much.
made exactly the same amount of money overseas as it did.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
made $51
Yeah.
million
Yeah.
dollars.
But Sinners did not.
That's a
Yeah.
cultural
Well,
film.
That's because it's the rest of the world's racist.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. No, it is.
I'm not kidding. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
But
know,
you
we
know,
know.
though, I mean, you can say what you want to about Sinners, man. It's showing you that the American dollar counts and that the American market counts, right? I mean, we don't have to cater to these other countries because Sinners has proven you can make that money right here in this country.
It's
Yep.
a
Absolutely.
very
Tariff
American
the hell out of
movie. It's a very American movie about a window of an era.
I mean,
So-
Sinners has only made it's made 240 million domestic and 73 million international, which is very usually internationally American movies tend to do even better than they do domestically.
It will get re-released in the fall, leading up to an Oscar campaign.
It's made 314 million. That's
And it's-
amazing.
And they're still adding theaters to show it, which is even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But it truly is an American phenomenon. It might hit 300 million domestic.
Yeah.
That's insane. Good for Ryan Coogler.
Yeah. Let's go to soups as we wrap up. We've got some soups here.
Rudy for 5. Hey, Chris Gore. Why does Darth Vader AI keep asking for your brother Nick? Something about his knees and them growing?
Nick Gore.
Nick
Be very careful
Gore.
when I say that. Nick,
Careful. Yeah, for sure.
I think he goes by Nicholas these days, right? Yeah.
okay.
That's
Yes.
what I'm calling him from now on. Force Geek for 2. Chris, are you seeing Schumacher cut of Batman Forever? I keep hearing about this, and I want
want
it.
to see it.
I'm dying to see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to see
What
it.
about
the
you, Rob?
actual
You see that?
Schumacher cut?
I'd love to see
he
it.
had, or
I've
the
heard
fan
it's-
version cut?
It's the actual Schumacher cut, is it not? Like,
But is it finished? Is it a finished film print or is it
I
just
heard
a-
it was finished.
Because
Wow.
I know about a Schumacher cut that was done by a fan that got a lot of the raw footage. I just don't and I also know that there's notes that Schumacher made for his cut of Batman Forever. But I didn't know if they actually like put that together legitimately. Because if so, I'd be down for that.
Yeah. If you can find
I wanna
anything about
see it.
that, I would spend money to watch that.
Sounds- All right.
Mhm.
I want to see it.
Aron Charman, member for 12 months. If Vader is number 1, what's your number 2 villain? Emperor Palpatine? No, I'm just kidding. Who's number 2?
What would be number 2 in terms of iconic, like actually
The X.
iconic?
Yeah.
Movie
Joker.
villain.
Jenny
Joker.
from Forrest Gump.
Joker's up there. I say Joker top 5.
Yeah.
Joker.
Yeah.
Think of different people that have played
Pennywise the
Joker.
Clown. I'm thinking now just things that we think about.
Just clowns.
Yeah, clowns.
Clowns.
Jason Voorhees, Joker. Yeah.
Right,
Terminator.
Skynet.
Yeah, Skynet. Yeah. Fuck you, fat hoe, for 199. Steph, are you taken? Can you be my bloody Valentine? Ooh, careful.
Not take it. Single.
But also no.
Oh gosh.
Staccato DDS for 10. Shout out to the DA.
Shout out Staccato, my guy.
Yeah, I found the website here. So this is from Cinephile in Los Angeles, May 2025 screenings. Thursday, the 29th, Batman Forever, the Schumacher cut.
Ooh.
Nice.
Where is this? Put the link.
This
in
is
the private chat.
Cinephile in Los Angeles somewhere.
Bro, release it
Yeah, there it
digitally.
is. There's
I
the,
know.
there's the
What is
theater
happening?
itself.
There's the theater. There's
Oh.
like 10 people there. You're gonna
It's a
pass
lovely
on
theater.
that. Oh man. Well, there you go. But shout out to the I want to thank everybody here. Thanks to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid. We're gonna take you out to Badger, but please plug your channel, everybody, as we wrap up.
Yeah, you can find me on the YouTubes at Script Doctor on YouTube on Saturdays for Scripts on Saturdays, where this week we are going to be reviewing an Ex-Cons, a comedy about a husband and wife jewel thief duo who are now divorced to try and capture their son, who is a notorious jewel thief himself.
All right.
Yo, thank you for being here or bringing me on, Chris. Derek Anderson, the DA. Check out my channel. Doing nightcaps tomorrow night, Tuesdays and Thursday nights as well. The DA's office on Sunday nights. Appreciate it.
Rob Burnett here from the Burnett Work over on YouTube. Find me there and go to truenoir.co and order my latest effort, the 10-chapter audio drama.
Stephanie with My Nerdy Home. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter, as well as my YouTube channel, Nerdy News, later on this week, as well as a couple of other videos.
Verbal Riot on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Be sure to watch at BRL this Thursday, 6 p.m. PST.
Yeah. I want to personally apologize that we didn't fight. We were all really nice to each other. I'm sorry. It will not happen again. I swear, Script and I go right back to hating each other next time. I'm sorry. We failed you. Thank you. Badgercast, 30 minutes.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We will be back next Monday, a week from today, and we will talk Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. So I hope you can all join us next week. Appreciate you. Alan, will you be there?
I will be there. And we'll also be talking Lilo and Stitch. We're seeing it tonight, and we'll have a midnight reaction to Lilo. Are we doing that?
Definitely not doing it. We'll do an out of theater reaction. That's what we'll do.
Does that come out this week?
Comes out this week.
Wow.
Friday.
Want to go see it?
Yeah. Lilo and Stitch Kid, Mission Impossible for adults.
How much money do you think Lilo and Stitch is going to make?
$1 billion.
Billion.
No, I mean this weekend.
Yeah.
If it's a shot-for-shot remake, it'll make.
I'm saying 150.
Yeah, I say 150, 175, somewhere in there.
I was just curious what you guys think. I've heard a friend of mine has seen it who had never seen the original and said it, and he's not predisposed to liking Disney movies. He said it was great.
It's going to bank.
All right, Alan.
Let's get out of here.